Who's your mama? That's the question we're going to answer tonight. We're recapping Season 2, Episodes 2 and 3 of Total Bellas. Stay right there.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Dance lights. Requested by TK.
Came to mind. Let's go.
All right, girls. It's ladies' night here at Total Bellas. Guys, it's Megan Stecher again. Sorry we missed last week, but we are going to recap that for you tonight anyway. And I'm joined by...
Hi guys, my name is Imogen Moxley. You can find me at Imogen Moxley on Instagram.
Hey guys, my name is TK Trinidad. You can find me on everything at TK Trinidad. And quick little side note, you can go on redcross.org/disaster relief if you want to donate money, clothing, all that good stuff for all the hurricanes and earthquakes that's been happening worldwide. It's on my social media.
Woohoo. Thank you, Red Cross, because the world is crumbling down around
my gosh.
us.
Tell me about it.
Did you guys feel the earthquake the other night?
Oh.
Was it last night?
It was
2 nights ago?
Monday. It was Monday. Well, Monday night, 11:20. I remember.
Wow. Yeah, it was like,
I didn't because I don't live in the LA area.
Wow. You didn't even feel it?
No.
Wow.
It might have been like probably by you, it was probably like a point something.
Oh,
Nothing.
Wow. I felt
3
it anyway.
point, no, what was it? 3.6?
6? I think
Yeah.
so. But we're all safe here. Thank goodness. Guys, let's recap last week real
Yeah.
quick.
Yay.
Since we were not here. Due to scheduling issues, everyone was doing other shows.
Yeah.
And that was that. I'll just gloss over highlights and then we'll discuss. Brian is all up in Brie's pregnancy and wanting to talk to the doctor about baby stuff. It doesn't even matter because the baby ain't born yet. And he wants
concerns.
Yeah. He makes me nervous.
He's more concerned than most fathers.
I'll give him that.
Damn.
Okay.
Just saying.
Imogen out the gate.
Oh, okay.
Yes. New personality coming out.
And Brian wants to make a sticking point of using cloth diapers. JJ moves into Nikki's villa due to his separation from Lauren. He gets caught on FaceTime in the background by Mama Bella, but she's not sure who it is running around in just a towel at Nikki's villa.
Right. So that I was just like, she's like, who is that? And she's like, what? I'm just like showing you this and that. And I find it funny, but also it's hard to grasp because I did watch Lola's recap of Total Bellas. So
Yeah.
Mama Bella was mentioning that she wasn't saying, oh, I think she was cheating on him. It was just a concern, like I was just confused. Why is somebody in the house?
I like that
wasn't
they
my-
broke the fourth wall
Yeah.
and they showed the producer and she's like, I think my mom thought it was this guy, you know? I like that they
That's
did
something
do that.
that I like with reality TV is like they do break the fourth wall. They do show the producer, the production, because they're a part of this too. Not just the Bella family. These guys are
Well,
part
some
of
of
the
them
show
become
too.
family too, because this is going to the second season. They probably, some of them do Total Divas as well, so they probably are part of the family. And you know, it's nice to show. Obviously, not all the time, but nice to show those little things. Like, okay, I forgot whatever his name was, but the
don't
sound
either.
guy is
Yeah.
like, and he's smiling like
Yeah.
2 minutes of fame.
What else happened? Mama Bella insinuates Nikki's cheating on John when talking to Brie.
Which we all know that will never happen because Nikki is over obsessed with John, which is totally fine.
Okay.
Well, it's fine. Like, you know, a lot of women are very lovable in that expression of way.
Facts. She's over obsessed.
But it's
She's just
fine.
in love with him, and she won't fall onto somebody's penis.
Okay, you're talking about my shade, girl.
That's not shade. That's just truth. She's in love with him, and she's not gonna do it.
Oh my gosh.
Welcome to the Total Bellas AfterShow.
What's going on in the studio tonight? Okay. JJ asked John Cena for some marital advice. He's like, dude, I know you've been divorced. I'm going through something in my marriage. I'd really love to talk to you about it. But it's kind of against what Nikki had asked him to do. Nikki didn't want JJ to go to John and get any, like, oh, marriage isn't a good idea ideas in his head
Right.
again.
I mean, why not? I mean, if I kind of put myself in JJ's shoes, if I'm having a situation and I have a brother-in-law or sister-in-law that had this situation in the past, I want to go to somebody that has had that experience. Why can I not go because my sister or brother said no? Like, no, I'm a grown-ass person. I'm going to go ask somebody, and if they don't want to talk about it, that's totally fine. Mm-hmm. Like, John Cena is the type of person where I think anybody in that family member can go to talk to and has a lot of experience in multiple situations. So I'm glad JJ did go over that boundary and did speak to him because he really got positive feedback.
Mm-hmm. Like, John strikes me as such an adult, and JJ's like a little bratty, like he's always been the youngest, and I think he's such a brat. So I like that I think he does view John as like an older brother, and John's such a grown-up to me. Mm-hmm. So I'm glad he went to somebody that's a grown-up.
You can also see Nikki's point of view, where it's just kind of like, especially in that scenario where John is working all the time, and the last thing you want to do is just like, say you just take it in a normal person's perspective. You work 9 to 5. Mm-hmm. The last thing you want to do is for your roommate, your husband, your wife to come at you with all these questions when you're in that moment of time, home decompressing. Mm-hmm. In that time. Now times it by all the billions of stuff that John does. So you can kind of see it from Nikki's perspective. Mm-hmm. But then also on the flip side, John's like, maybe that young man needs help. And, sparing 5 minutes or 10 minutes of my time to actually have a conversation with him versus him go and do something totally different and off the wall. And then to come back and say, oh, well, I didn't know. I'm just going off of, whatever's in the sky. It makes sense. So you can kind of see it from both perspectives.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. I'm glad they talked.
Yeah.
I feel like I get Nikki's side, but I'm glad they talked. Yeah. Because I think JJ needed that. He's outnumbered by the women, faux show. Nikki tells Brie and Kathy, Mama, Bella, on their family trip to Lake Tahoe that JJ is separated. So then when JJ comes home from snowboarding, they kind of all just pounce on him like, we know, let's just talk about it. Mm-hmm. And of course he shows the worst side of himself and says he doesn't need therapy. He's not just going to stay together with her for the kid because his parents did that and it was awful.
Yeah. Well, I don't know why he thought that telling Nikki, like, she wasn't going to tell anybody else.
Right.
That's just...
Well, especially because we're recording this as a storyline for the TV show.
Well, just even in general, it's like they're twin sisters and they talk all the time. It's not like, one of those situations where you talk to your mom once a week. Or they talk all the time, every day.
Yeah.
So to tell Nikki that and expect her not, like, he was good on expecting her not to keep it a secret for a few days. But how long did he expect her to keep this a secret for? Which is kind of...
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I have no opinion on it. No. Because well, here it is. Here goes my opinion. I just think that some things in people's lives shouldn't be talked about in family situations. Mm-hmm. I get it. It's for the show, probably. Or maybe this really did happen. We really don't know. But if this legit happened, I just think that this was more so for him and Lola's relationship, not for family, because it's just, for me, my family doesn't need to know everything I do or about my whole business. Mm-hmm. It's not, maybe it's just maybe it's the way how they were raised, like, that is okay, that's how they express their feelings.
So are you saying that they shouldn't have aired it on television, or?
Yeah, if it's a real thing. I mean, I don't think that there's a time and place to bring up private situations if you're going to do reality show or if you want to keep it behind the scenes.
Right. I don't know. I kind of feel the opposite of that because in a lot of reality shows you get the extremes. It's like, oh, the husband went and did this, or the wife went and did this, and now the marriage is just blown up and they're getting a divorce. In this scenario, it just feels like it's a life change. They had a kid. Mm-hmm. They were married, less than 3 years or so? So there's a lot of things, a lot of moving parts, and he said that he doesn't want to divorce her. He doesn't want to leave her. He still loves her. It's just that they're experiencing this bump in the road. So it's almost good to show that to other families or, newly married couples that are out there because they can feel like, okay, well, it's not just me. So I could see both ways, but if you sign up to a reality show, then you should be aware that your whole life is going to be possibly on a storyline.
Well, but I mean, I've experienced reality TV because my sister was in a reality show and they would tell us, hey, we're going to do this, we're going to do that.
Yeah, they give you
between
angles.
Family, and it's like, sometimes we're like, no, that's not comfortable. That's not something we want to do. So maybe the producer did talk to them about this, and honestly, in reality, they could agree to do it or not agree to do
Well,
it.
Nikki and Brie are both producers on the show, and with some other reality shows, if you were on it, you don't have the access to clear the editor cuts and all this other stuff. So I'm sure they wouldn't let their brother kind of be thrown under the bus. So I'm sure they all had to agree. It's like, this is what's going to be shown.
Yeah, or in their contract.
Yeah. So I think I like how they are presenting it, because this is a situation that does happen. And some people just throw in the towel and they're like, I can't do this anymore. And now this child, a relationship that could have been saved, they just, because that's the culture that we're in. It's like, we're just going to move on. This is just not working out. And they're seeing two people who are actually fighting for a relationship, which is different. So, it's
Kind of reminds this. I'm sorry, I just got totally deja vu when we did Total Divas with Miz and Maurice when they talked about having a baby.
Oh, and she's pregnant now.
Yeah. Kind of a deja vu.
I'm kind of waiting for Naomi to turn up pregnant soon, too. I would love to see their kid. Their kid's amazing.
Oh, yeah. Adorable. Well, yeah, I feel like this is a really controversial. We're used to, I think, a little more light-handed stuff. And, I mean, if this really was happening, if they really were separated and considering breaking up, I feel like that's heavy for Bellas.
I think it's really sucky if they were I understand reality is not reality, but it'd be really sucky if the whole thing was an act, and they're I've been staying at Nikki's the whole time, where they're just a loving couple behind the scenes. I think I'd be more irritated with that, because then it's truly okay, let's say reality TV's 20% reality, then it's truly not even reality whatsoever. Now it's just a daytime or a nighttime drama. And if that's the case, then they need to shop it as such. So I feel like if they're having problems, then they're having problems. They might have showcased it in a bigger way in editing wise, but I legitimately want them to have a problem. Don't present that and it's not the case. I'd be more irritated with that. It's like, oh no, we're a happy family. We're just acting for you guys.
I think what maybe convinced me that it was real a little bit more tonight was when when Lauren cried, when Brie was like, we all know.
Yeah.
I think that kind of convinced me that there's something going on there. But let's get to this week then. At the end of last week, Brian got to feel labor pains, and JJ as well. It made me happy that JJ was like, ouch. I was like, you deserve it. But yeah, so they tried out some machine that simulates labor pain.
It's actually just a muscle machine that they hook up to muscles. So athletes, it's really old school machine too, now I think about it. But athletes are finished working out, they hook them up. It's almost like a muscle relaxer. So then you just crank it up, and it stimulates the muscles. But if you put it on the stomach, obviously it's gonna kind of stimulate almost those labor pains.
Like a contraction situation. Is that the thing they use at physical therapy if you've injured a muscle? Okay, so I've used that before. I'm not going to use it on my stomach area, that's for sure.
Well, don't turn it up to 15. Don't mind using it on your stomach, but just don't put it on 15.
Oh my God. So tonight's episode kicked off with Ross Matthews, our very own. Woo-hoo. We love Ross. He tapes here at our studio, so it was awesome to see his face doing the red carpet with the Bellas. So it was some pre-Oscars red carpet fun and games, and of course, because they are stars at E, they went and visited and participated. And then they FaceTime Mama Bella afterward. And this all starts, the name of this episode is Who's Your Mama? It kind of kicks off the whole who's the mama of Winston.
Yeah.
Because it's Nikki's dog technically, but now it's Brie and Brian's dog, because Nikki doesn't have enough time at home to be the full-time dog mom.
Yeah, I noticed that. I think it was either episode 1 or 2 where he was there, and I'm like, wait a minute, isn't he supposed to be... So I get the reason why, and I get both sides, but I kind of feel like, Nikki, if you're going to let somebody, pretty much raise your dog, then you have... I guess they should have determined the rules and regulations on the custody of Winston, but it feels like if you're going to leave him there, and you have a perfectly good house in Florida and in San Diego and in Arizona, then just pay the extra charge and have him travel with you.
That's not a bad idea, because a lot of people back then in the wrestling industry would bring their dogs on the road.
And there's dog sitters all over the place, especially in the U.S.
Is that breed of dog though does not travel really well because of the shape of
the
their
pug nose?
shape of their
be.
face?
Maybe. I know, like,
breathing?
old English bulldogs, that's a problem. They have a hard time
I've
breathing.
heard like pugs aren't good for
Yeah.
flying and stuff. So I was wondering if that was it. Plus, I mean, traveling for wrestling on top of, they do have multiple houses. So I was thinking it probably wouldn't be too healthy for him to always
And
travel.
that's probably why they decided to take over Winston. But then,
home-based,
you know, it's probably an impulsive buy, which, you know, makes sense. It's like, oh, dogs are so cute. Like, the good thing about dogs other than kids is you can give them somewhere else.
Well, it
Kids,
seems
you
like
can't give them back.
seems like from tonight she got him during the injury, so she spent so much time at home recovering and was with the dog all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
So I get it, but it's kind of like she didn't have the foresight to think like, what am I gonna do when I do get back? Because all she wanted was that comeback.
Right.
Yeah.
You know. So, and here we are. The dog has been adopted, ish. We're sharing custody. Nikki and Natty are ending their storyline at SmackDown. And Nikki's hoping her next storyline is going to take her to WrestleMania, which we do get to see later on in the episode. She is now in a fun couples foursome. Not that kind of foursome storyline. So it's her and John versus Miz and Maurice, which I think is awesome. It was like a new side of Nikki for me, being like, bitch, on the microphone. And they kept showing it on the promos all week, and I was like, dang, she can act. I love her. Her and John, like, I feel like they have really good acting chops. You guys are like, no, nope, they're terrible.
Welcome to the wrestling
But
industry.
for everyone who's like a reality show person, I'm the one who's not up on the wrestling, and you guys are like, oh, please.
No,
Well,
it's
I
totally
loved
fine.
it. Do you know what happened in the end?
I don't.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm not going to say it.
Well, actually, when Natty and Nikki were fighting, I mentioned I was actually at that show.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of stuff they didn't add in with the whole Miz and Marie storyline base, why she's explaining.
Okay.
So pretty much what happened was Nikki and Natty were in backstage. They got in a brawl. Glass were thrown. Maurice was in the back. Someone ran into, I forgot which one, ran into Maurice, fell. Maurice came out with a pole and started hitting, I forget which one of them. It was a long time ago, guys. And that's how the storyline started to slowly build up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Into the John and Nikki versus Miz and Maurice. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm enjoying it. You think it's going to maybe roll into Total Divas?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Because I feel like they're being so vague with it here.
Yeah, but oh my gosh.
You're like, no,
Because-
it's too long ago.
No, it's not too long, but it's just like there's an ending to it that, like, I want to tell you, but I don't know what type of person you are, so I don't know if you're gonna. I'm the type of person you can tell me the ending.
Oh,
I'll
you
still be
can
happy.
spoil it. No, I'm not
So you
mad.
know they're engaged now, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So I knew all that.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. I was like, I didn't know which part you
Yeah.
knew.
So
Okay.
they fought at WrestleMania again, and then when they won,
Then
he
he
did the whole
proposed,
proposal
yes.
with her real name, which I was like, oh, he really means it. Okay.
Yeah,
But I also still subscribe to the conspiracy theory that he did it off our show, that they had a private engagement before that.
That's what I believe. That's what we still believe.
Or they had it after, either way. But the good and bad thing about being in the entertainment industry is that he probably didn't pay for the ring, which is always great.
Yeah.
Like all the extra stuff that, and now I'm being kind of sexist, that women kind of want in the engagement, like all that stuff. Like you can't buy that, what he did. So, I mean, definitely the private one's great, but that, like,
Yeah.
I'm just a little confused on how they're going to do if this is going straight into Total Divas, because when the last time we saw Total Divas is when Brie was like, oh my God, I'm pregnant. And then this season starts when she's about to pop.
right.
So it's a little confusing.
I know we're going to see at the end of Bella's the birth and also the engagement.
Right.
So Diva's going to have to
But
pick
they
up
didn't
after that.
announce Divas until, was it Midsummer, right?
No, just last week.
No, I mean not the show, but the people who were
The
on
cast.
on the cast. It was like midsummer.
Probably,
So that means that's probably when they started taping.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
Brie already had the baby. The engagement already happened. So technically, they
so
could
we'll
pick
up
up
from there.
From there.
Probably,
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go. Fill in the hole. You have to follow Bella's and Divas to get the whole story. John comes to see Brie and Brian's house for the first time, which I didn't realize he
Yeah,
had
I didn't know
never
that either.
been there. And I loved how nervous Brie was. I would have been the same way.
Well, you know they have, because Brie and Brian also have a house in Seattle.
Yeah, the little
the
one on his
little-
family's
yeah.
property.
Parents' house.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they have that there, and I think they moved because they had another house in the first season of Total Divas. So this one's a slightly bigger than the last house that they had. So it might be.
No, I think this is our first. No, this is our first house that they paid.
Oh, so maybe the other one was like a rental or something.
The other one was like their family owned, like Brian's family owned.
The one up in Seattle. But they had another one in Arizona.
Oh, okay.
So,
this is the first one they've owned.
Oh, it might have been.
Yeah, it was an apartment, and then they moved into a house.
Okay. That's all to say. This is the first time John has been to this house, which is, I love when they were talking about how small it was. They had to talk about it for a full minute. It's less than 1/3 the size of his guest house that they stayed in last season in Florida. So Brian and John are kind of talking out in the yard about her due date being close to WrestleMania. So I think this is going to set us up for like a Brian storyline for later on. And John's like, I think you should exhaust all possibilities. And like, if I were you, after that, I wouldn't go. You guys probably know more than I do about, was he able to make it to WrestleMania?
I don't think he
didn't
No,
go.
I think he like a couple weeks before he announced that he's.
Like, I remember watching their social media and her and Lauren together watching TV with Vivian too, but she hadn't had the baby yet.
Yeah.
So I was wondering, I was like, did Brian go? Okay, great.
No, I don't think he went.
And that's kind of great too, because I mean, as far as WWE as a company, like how can you say, well, my wife's about to have a baby, so I'm just gonna spend the next couple weeks preparing for her. I mean, that's pretty cool. I know no other company really does that. Like, could you tell your work like, hey, my wife's about to have a baby, don't know when, I'm gonna take like 6 weeks off. Like, we'll see how it goes. So pretty cool. And kudos to WWE. I think they do that
for men, like these days. If
after the baby's born, not before.
Well, Brian is a really house-known name in WWE. He does have probably a Legends contract. I mean, even though he's not quite a legend, but he still probably has a certain type of contract where he's able to leave whenever he's able to. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, he's kind of setting it up like, oh God, I'm gonna have to ask for permission. It might not happen, but I'm more than sure they would say, don't come. Yeah. Please be there when she has the baby, because you guys are filming. Yeah. So that's even better for business.
Yeah.
Also, at the same time, Brie is telling Nikki how much Winston's a part of the family now, and she needs to understand that. Basically saying, I'm his new mom. You need to understand that. And Brian, at the same time, is pitching his 80s wrestler, farmer, HGTV show idea to John in the backyard.
This is the greatest.
So actually, Joseph, fan on the live chat. So he said John has Nicole so spoiled in the mountain in Tampa. One, did they post anything about Irma? Because I know some of the wrestlers who live in Tampa, they were boarding up their houses, but I didn't see an update on their if there was any damage.
I didn't see anything on John or Nikki.
And so do you guys think, this is my question now, do you think you're more of a John and Nikki lifestyle or more of a Brie and Brian lifestyle?
I'm a way more Brie and Brian.
Agree.
I'm the Brian of the relationship. I get really mad when my boyfriend buys a lot of stuff. Like, he's super into, he has like a new hobby or a new sport like every 5 minutes, and he's obsessed with like all the gear. Like, he has to run out to, any sporting goods store, fill in the blank name, and buy all the gear and like REI and everywhere. And I'm always like, where is this stuff going to go? We have nowhere for all this crap. And so I'm the minimalist and I get mad about all the junk.
I'm the Brie and Brian. I love nature. I went to Seattle and I was like, oh my God, this is my home. But I don't like expensive things. Like, I will go to, if I only have $20 and I want to buy a shirt, I'd rather spend that $20 on to go buy gas for my car than buy a t-shirt. Like, I can't buy. I don't know. I'm just not an expensive person.
You're the John and Nikki.
And I am a minimalist per se. Like, I don't like buying. Like, I love things being in certain places and like very
organized,
and all that good stuff. But I like space. So if I were to choose houses, I'd definitely do the house in Tampa. Like, if you're gonna come and visit, I'd rather you be in the West Wing. Just call me if you want to do something, but I don't want to see you like that. I don't know. I'm just definitely. And
no pun intended.
Yeah. And it's just more. That's what my preference. And I like expensive things. I like nice things, especially if I work hard for it.
Right.
Just true.
No, I don't work hard for it, but when you put in all that work, I like to see the visual and also have a big savings account. So it's not like you know, I have my last $20 and I'm gonna screw that. I'm just gonna buy a shirt and not have gas. So I'm definitely the best of both worlds, but I like the fancier things in life.
Like, I wouldn't have a problem with someone buying me a $$400 baby monitor. I'm like, if you have the money, yes, please bless me with with a gift.
Bless me. I love it.
The baby needs it.
No, I'm just like, don't spend your money on something. Spend it on your bills.
I'm a big, like, with my niece and nephew, I don't always want to buy them crap that they want.
Right.
Like, I'm always like, this is toys you guys won't want in 3 months. I'm super into, like, I'll call my sister and be like, are there sports they're about to play that I can pay the fee?
Right.
Or, you know, what are, like, do they want to go to camp? Stuff like that. So,
Oh, you're a great aunt. I'm not like that.
oh.
And I think too, the kids typically remember the moments that you have with them. Like I
Yes.
have like my favorite aunt. The one thing that I remember about her is that she used to put red lipstick on me when I was like 5.
Aw.
You know what I'm saying? And it
Yeah.
was those moments that I remember. And I know she's bought me gifts and all this other stuff, but it's just those little things that I remember and the moments that you have with
Right.
the kids or people around you that are more important than
Right.
you know, we've gotten off topic, but
Yeah.
you know.
But exactly. I'm always like, I want to get them an experience, not a toy.
Right.
But yes, I get it. So Brian's a wet blanket about this whole getting prepared for baby is the point to that whole
I
thing.
think he's just very nervous. So he's so new at this. He doesn't know
Yeah.
what to do. He wants to do one thing, and then maybe later on he's going to be like, okay, crap, I should have gotten this.
and-
Just like they mentioned.
And for me to be on his side, I would say their house is a very small size, and where is all that stuff going to go? You know what I mean? It's
Right.
like, let's pare down to what the baby actually does need, because stuff's going to be everywhere anyway.
Right.
Like, where are we going to put everything?
Right.
Yes, and moving on to that. Family meets at the Birdie B offices. They get off the phone with Nicole. She's the only one not in town. And Brie magically has this light bulb idea that, you know, Nikki's thrown me 2 bachelorettes, 2 bridal showers, 2 baby showers. Like, I need to do something for her. And this was so offensive, and since she's never going to have a baby and maybe never get married.
There's so much shade.
I'm
She
gonna-
said that like a billion times
I
this
know.
episode.
I'm going to throw her a women's empowerment party. 'Cause she's a career woman. Like, they did it on Sex in the City. I don't remember this Sex in the City reference. Like, what episode?
Carrie did have like something like
She
it was,
married herself,
yes,
I remember.
I remember that.
Because she just registered for the pair of shoes that someone
Yeah,
stole.
at the beginning of the episode was all her friends were having babies and married, and she had to do all these registry things. Like I'm getting everybody this stuff, and I'm not getting married. I'm not having a kid, and I deserve good treatment too. So she married herself, and she had a registry, and the thing too that pisses me off is that people get married and then get divorced in less than 2 years. It's like I think I deserve that gift back, especially
Let me
if it's
tell
expensive.
you, I went to a wedding that they got divorced in less than a year, and thank God we did not do a gift before the 1 year mark, because we ended up not ever we didn't lose anything on
Yeah,
that whole
that's like the most
situation.
annoying thing. I just feel like you should send all the gifts back.
Yeah, like when Kim K didn't do that, shady. So we all agree this women's empowerment party is a little offensive.
Not really.
The
Okay, so we
intention
don't
was-
agree.
The intention was well, but it was just kind of like the shade of which she did it. It's just like, why can't you just throw her a surprise? Like, obviously they're twins, so they both have the same birthday. So maybe just assume it's gonna be a low-key birthday, and you celebrate Nikki's birthday because
Exactly.
technically it's her birthday. Like, you
Like,
know,
made a big
something-
deal of that
yeah.
year.
Yeah. So I'd rather that, but the women's.
That's a great idea. You have a great idea. I think this women's
I think
empowerment
maybe
party
it's just
was.
her pregnancy hormones, and she's just all
I think it was
over.
also her producer giving her a bad storyline to work with. But
Probably.
Well, she is a producer, right?
But I kind of wonder too if she knew that John was gonna propose, because it feels like just this episode alone, she's been harping on, well, you're never gonna get married and you never gonna have kids. I don't know if she was doing that as a build up to say, okay, well, you're not. This is not gonna happen for you. This is not gonna happen for you. This is not gonna happen to you. Oh, it's happened. Like, I don't know if that was like she actually knew that he was gonna propose to her.
Or like they were already engaged and they're just keeping with this storyline.
Oh, I hope that
Yeah.
wasn't the case, but maybe anything's
Who
possible.
knows? Anything is possible. And JJ, of course, spills the beans about the party.
Man,
In typical JJ is the worst fashion. He's just the worst.
Well, he's a little brother. That's what you're supposed to do.
I know, it's so bad. I'm so glad I don't have a little brother, I have to say.
Oh, I do, and he's terrible, but now I like him. I didn't like him for the first 18 years.
It takes a long time to
does.
like your siblings, I gotta say.
well, I'm the youngest, so I keep it privately. If you don't want to tell me something, I can't say anything.
You're like, I'm the youngest.
I'm not
I
gonna
get the
tell
benefits
anybody
of
anything.
being the youngest.
It's not my business. Why am I gonna spill the beans on?
Well,
you know,
then you're a nice youngest sibling.
Yeah.
they appreciate me now.
When things do get a little serious on the show, Brie does go talk to Lauren, and like I said earlier, she cries, which made me really kind of believe in it and invest in this storyline finally. And she says, no matter what, he's still my best friend. To jump ahead, when they do finally go to therapy, that seems like JJ's main sticking point. He's like, I feel like we're just best friends and not lovers. And I was like, there we have it.
There we go.
It's always about the sex for the men.
But I mean, they had the baby, so they had to have sex.
True. I feel like maybe there's not a lot going on since the baby. Maybe that's
I was gonna point that out.
It's such a life change.
Postpartum or something like that.
Yeah, like it's such a life change. You're not sleeping. You're probably like angry at each other when the child's like upset, and you're both frustrated and don't know how to make them, you know, calm or how to fix what's wrong.
But that's where communication comes to play. If he wants it more and she doesn't feel, because like she might not feel the same way she did about her body and all this other stuff, and he wants it more, and then and she tells him, I do too, however, these are the reasons why I don't feel like doing it, then he might have to, you know, reassure her, like, no, you're beautiful, all this other stuff, and then, you know, if that's the case, if that's the crux of it all, and that's why the relationship is deteriorated. So if that's the case, and then that's what they need to do. But he's not a good communicator. So
he's not, which is funny because he loves to spill the beans. But
he likes to tell everybody.
He just likes to drop it and then walk away.
He likes to tell everybody else's business but his.
Yeah. I love his wife. Like, I love following her on Instagram, and I think she's wonderful. And I felt so horrible when she was like, I want to keep my family together. Like, I really admire, like, off of this show, like, I really admire her. And I'm like, look at our cute little family. And I'm like, God, if that were me, I would be so torn up.
Yeah, I follow her on Instagram. I love how her Instagram story, how they finally finished the baby's play area with a swing.
If you guys aren't following her and you want to check her out, it's at What Lola Likes on Instagram.
It's cute.
It's super cute. John and Nikki go to dinner. Nikki is saying she's putting her foot down. She's not having this party. John refers to it as a pity party. So obviously that makes up Nikki's mind on this is not happening. She will not be having that. Nikki confronts Brie about it. But in the middle of this whole discussion, Winston throws up and Nikki swoops in to be mom of Winston once again, alpha mom maybe I should say, and takes him with her as she goes, then leaves town to go to the Kids' Choice Awards and kind of do a fun little like co-host bit with John for a little bit, and drops Winston off with her mom, but doesn't tell Brie and Brian, like doesn't take Winston back to his current home, and tells her mom also, by the way, don't tell them I gave him to you and that I'm out of town. So obviously they find out, go over to
petty.
Kath's.
So petty.
So they go over to Kathy's to get the dog. I would have. Like, if I were Brie and Brian, I would have been like, no, this is his new home. He now has, like, a dog sibling. Like, we take care of him night and day. His, like, dog bed and toys are here.
I get it. And if Brie is going to constantly remind her that you're not going to get married and you're not going to have kids, then
that's exactly
then she should also take into consideration that maybe there's a reason. There's a reason why everybody does something. So there's a reason why she took Winston from the house. There's a reason why she didn't drop him back off at Brie's, and should have taken that into consideration if you're gonna talk about the women's empowerment party and Nikki saying I don't want to have the party. So that's why I'm saying it's petty. It's definitely. Nikki should have dropped Winston back at the house, but there's a reason behind that, and she was obviously butthurt because, you know, she got the dog when she was injured. Now she's not injured anymore, and then John's gone, and, you know, all these little things. So in that situation, I wouldn't have done that. But, of course, you know, not being sexist again, but Brie is pregnant, so you just kind of go with whatever is come to mind. But I don't agree with this decision. I think it was petty.
I just think it's just total twin type of sister type of thing. I'm getting at you, now I'm going to get at you. Total twin type of thing, I think. Or sibling.
Sibling rivalry.
Sibling
They just do
rivalry.
stuff because they know.
Yeah.
Brie and Brian are once again squabbling about the baby gifts, and she tells him that she doesn't want him to come to the shower because it's going to upset him. Like, he'll get so anxious over the amount of gifts, and it's going to upset the guests that he's having anxiety, which I was like, oh, poor Brian. Here we go again with this anxiety storyline. But JJ stops by his home that he shares with Lauren with some groceries, and she confronts him, is like, were you never going to tell me that your whole family has known for a hot minute that we are separated?
Right.
And he immediately freaks on her. Like, rather than being like, sorry, like, we promised we wouldn't tell anybody, and, you know, by me staying with Nikki, because we decided I would move out, everybody found out. You know, rather than just say that, he like flips on her. It's like, I had to move out of my house, blah blah blah. I just can't with
Total like man ego type of thing.
I can't with
You
him.
know
It's
what
like
I mean?
really juvenile.
Which is fine.
If
but,
he's paying, and I'm sure she's working too, but if he's paying most, like I could see both sides. If he's paying most of the bills, it's just like, okay,
Yeah.
so I have to. And did she tell him to move out, or did he decide to move out? There's some things that we didn't see, obviously.
Yeah,
so there's
right,
that aspect of
exactly.
it. So if she told him to leave, that's one thing. But if he just decided this is not working at the moment, I should leave. Then technically,
It almost sounds like to me she was like, the best thing would be for you to go for a little bit and us to have some breathing room. Is how defensive he was about it.
Right.
If I had to guess, but
Right.
I don't know.
But what I would think that, I mean, if you know that your family is very tell everybody, you would think he would probably go and stay at a buddy's house for a couple of days instead of
Well, they were
What?
filming, and
Yeah.
Nikki had a
Still-
giant open
and
villa.
they seem like a very
still-
close knit family too. On top
I
of
mean,
that.
still at the same. I mean, reality cameras on you, cameras not. You know, cameras will follow you anywhere you go, even if you stay at a buddy's house.
Right, but for how long?
You know,
See, like,
Couple
I wouldn't mind, do I want my brother to come and stay with me? Not really, but he's my brother, so if he stays for 2 days or 6 months, I can roll with that. If you say, hey, I'm in a situation, and you stay with me for a week, I was like, all right, that's cool. But after about the second week, I'm like, where's your people at? You know what I'm saying? So I think in that situation, he didn't know how long he was going to be away from the house. So
Yeah.
it just, and then on top of that, guaranteed, we didn't even see the whole house that Nikki has. She
Right, right,
rented.
right.
So it's probably huge.
well, yeah, no. When last episode, she was showing her mom everything
On
with the phone-
FaceTime.
on
It's
FaceTime.
a pretty
But
big
we
place.
don't, yeah, we don't know
Yeah.
how big it is.
Yeah.
They probably don't even, you don't even have to see each other if you don't want to. So
Maybe.
compare that
I don't
to
know. If my
the
family
rest.
was like, "Hey, can I stay with you?" I'm like, "No." I see you all the time. Like, I need a break.
I will say we finally get out of JJ in this moment why he doesn't want to go to therapy, which is it brings back really bad memories of when he was a kid and he was forced to go to therapy that he went to because of his parents getting divorced and he didn't like it back then. So I think that it's in his mind. He's like, I don't want to have another bad experience and it make what's going on with me and my wife even worse, which I totally get. And I respect him for admitting that.
Right.
But he does agree to go in the end. And the very first thing he gets to say in therapy is, I feel like we're best friends and not lovers. So I think that maybe that's, you know, his number one issue at the moment. And she's feeling really ignored. And that's her number one issue. And I feel like there'll be some good things to come out of therapy. I mean, spoiler alert, I see him on her Instagram stories like every day. So I think at the end of the day, guys.
And her YouTube channel. So
And maybe
Yeah.
they weren't seperated to begin with anyway.
Anyway, we have to consider
Saying.
we have to consider
I'm
that.
so upset.
But the girls have to deal with the Winston issue. Kathy drives Nikki back over to Brie and Brian's and is like, let's just iron this out. I don't want to be in the middle of all this. We are having a baby shower any day now. Like, you guys, let's iron this out. And I felt like Nikki was really receptive to everything Brie said. There was really no talking back. So I was surprised that she didn't defend herself really at all.
Well, she had a little talk with her mom on the way to the house. So I think she knew it subconsciously, but then saying it, she realized, like, okay, well, this is why I got Winston. And it's really not fair to Winston, but I'm still his mom regardless. But, you know, she can't take care of him. Her life is way too busy. So, it is what it is.
Yep, and now she feels alone because John's doing more work, and then Brie's focusing on her pregnancy, but I think she should, at this point of time, I wish she would just focus on her career than a dog.
Well,
The dog was while she was injured, so I think that's why she did.
I think, I get it that she's like, that's my son. Like, that's how I feel about my dog. And if I had to, for any reason, give it to my sister, I'd be damned if I'd be like, oh, you're his new mom. No.
Right.
You're the babysitter. So I give Nikki a lot of credit for being like, I understand, Brie, I understand. Yeah.
And there's still a bond there, nonetheless, too, because, for instance, my dog passed away 5 years ago, and I still think about it. I still obviously not every day, but I still have those fond memories, and that's still my dog, and we still have that relationship. So at that time, especially when you're injured or something happens, or you go through a breakup or anything like that, and that dog is there, that you kind of form that bond. So I think because while she was injured, it was her and Winston for a while when John was out. So
for sure.
I think she has that bond there.
That's her baby. Things get smoothed out, and bam, all of a sudden it's Brie's shower, and it was beautiful.
Yes.
I thought the flowers, when she was showing all the little stations, when she was speaking about, or when the camera was showing all the stations, when she just spoke about it, I was like, God, she thought of everything. It was so beautiful. I would love that kind of style for any party for me.
It's so Brie, though. That's the thing. It's totally her style.
Yeah.
But,
Very bohemian chic.
But also, I feel that this is also... I'm glad Daniel showed up, too, because this is their style. This is what they like.
I don't think he would not. Even though she said not to show up, it just seems like they're... The picture of them with the two dogs and then kissing is just
adorable.
So
it's so them, though.
Yeah.
The flower, or the
flower,
leaf wreath things around their head and the dog's neck is adorable. Okay, that's basically everything, guys. Yeah. I'm looking at my notes. I'm like, wait, we covered everything else.
There is one other thing.
Okay.
Book clubs are back in action. Did you know that?
I did. So many celebs have a book club now.
So many other fall activities. Audiobooks are the perfect complement to your busy schedule since you listen while you do other things. This is very true. I do it when I'm driving. You won't be unprepared for a book club again. If you're looking for a new book club pick, try the audiobook version. By listening to the story, your group conversation can go a whole new level. For instance, discuss how the voice of the narrator impacted the story, which is good. I've listened to one book with the guy from Lion King.
Ooh. Oh, yeah.
Changes your life. I listen to new releases such as My Absolute Darling, The Girl Who Takes an Eye for an Eye, or A Column of Fire, and enjoy a whole new book club experience. Visit tryaudiobooks.com, podcasts for book club suggestions, discussion questions, and a free full download of any audiobook for your whole book club to listen to. Penguin Random House Audio is the premier award-winning audiobook publisher. 13 Grammy Awards, 69 Audie Awards, and 15 Odyssey Awards. Penguin Random House Audio is dedicated to producing top-quality fiction and nonfiction audiobooks written and read by the best in the business.
Ooh. Wow. Ooh. All those awards. I know I love audiobooks. It's my new thing. And especially when the author is the one reading it. It gives you so much more insight into the inflection of their voice. Means so much more than just reading the written word.
I love listening to documentaries or biography books of celebrities.
Oh yeah.
So,
I listened to Andy Cohen's latest book. I listened to on audiobook.
And he actually is
the one reading it.
That I feel like if you're doing a celebrity's doing that, you actually feel their emotions going through probably their dark times and good times. So that is awesome.
I don't think I would want to read my own audiobook.
Really?
Yeah, especially the weirdest. I have some weird stories. I'm like, I don't want to. I'd rather somebody else just read that. I relived it by writing it. You can just read it on your own. But anyways, check out audiobooks for sure.
Yes.
Well, speaking of reading books, Let's watch TV. Next week, we're going to see a little bit of choosing Birdie's legal guardian. Who's it going to be? And Mama Bella's sex life with Johnny. Do we want to know about any of that?
I think they're so cute. I think because they're not my parents, I'm good. I don't
yeah,
mind.
like they're
don't
like a young, cool couple to me. Not
Yeah,
like
they don't
if it was
seem-
my mom, forget about it.
They don't seem like like she seems very feisty. Like
Yeah.
I don't want to know the details, but I mean they just
But
got
she's
married.
like young and vivacious and beautiful.
Yeah.
Like
No. No,
Just to
because
know.
like I feel like when we watch this family, we feel like we're a part of that family. And for me, I feel like Mama Bella is like a second mom
okay.
through the TV.
So you're seeing her as mom.
seeing her as like second mom, I'm just like, no, I want to see like the other stuff we're gonna see. Like I don't know. I feel like Mama Bella should write a book.
I'm sure she
Speaking
will.
of books, but yeah, I feel like we should get a book from her.
I'm sure she will.
I would
or
love-
at least she'll write a chapter in the
Yeah.
Bella's first.
I would just love to hear her story and the way she came up and
Yeah.
how this all transformation, how she felt with the whole Bellas becoming who they are today.
Yeah. It'd be cool, like a cool, like, Kris Jenner version on thing, even though she's not like their manager.
Yeah.
It'd be like, watch the perspective of watching this happen to your children would be a cool
in
story.
a positive light.
Yes.
She
yes,
seems really cool, though.
Absolutely. Okay. One little tidbit of news for this week.
AfterBuzz TV News.
If you guys live under a rock, it might be the only way you didn't know that Nikki is on Dancing with the Stars this season.
Yeah.
So Monday she did a tango and then body slammed her partner at the end of it naturally.
Didn't like it.
I didn't get to see it. You didn't like it. Okay.
I mean, I understand why. That's just what they do in
it's
the
like
first.
her brand,
It's
right?
well, it's just what everybody does in the show, in the first show.
yeah.
So I understand it, but it's like and she did more than what I expected because I had a feeling that she couldn't really dance. Like
Oh,
she could
okay.
do a two-step, and I was like, oh, she can hold her own. So she's gonna go a little bit further than what I expected.
Where
So-
did she fare in the scoring?
Ooh, I
You don't know?
remember. I think it's
Okay.
like 20. Oh, I don't know. I can't quote it.
Like as far as where it stacks up, she wasn't the very top person, but
No.
she was pretty up
she
there?
was. Yeah, she's not. She wasn't last.
Maybe like middle of the field.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Nikki, while we're cheering for you,
Yeah.
I know that Christy St. Cloud put up a video of
Yes.
voting on two phones at the same time
Yeah, I
for
saw that.
Nikki.
I
So
saw that.
Christy's voting for all of us, I think. And that's all I have for news this week.
Joseph also said, just going back to our whole audiobook thing,
Yeah.
Second Nature is coming out
Yes.
or just came out. So that is a book by Charlotte Flair, which is in WWE. So
Cool.
check it
Claire's
out.
daughter.
Yeah.
They both
There
had a
you go.
book, so that's awesome. Yeah.
More
she got
news we can
22.
use.
She got 20, by the way, Nikki.
Oh, 20. Perfect. Thank you
And
guys
thanks,
in the
Joseph.
chat.
Yeah.
Everybody in the chat, you're the best. You guys
You
know
are.
more than us.
Also,
every
I
time.
wanna add a little bit
Yeah.
because this is Total Bellas mixed with Total Divas. We
Yes.
got new cast members too.
We did. Woo!
So I just want to say that I did predict Carmella was going to be on
You
season
did?
7, and she actually liked it, and I'm so excited. So, good.
Did
good
you predict
points.
any of the other new cast members as
No,
well?
I just picked Carmella.
Okay. I was excited to see Carmella too because she had a big storyline going when we were ending last season, and I was like,
Yeah.
I really love her look and her storyline, and I was like, I would love to see her on the next one. Yeah, so
Yes.
exciting. All right, guys. Well, we will be back next week. Actually, I'll be away at a wedding, but we'll have some other people here for you.
I'll be here.
The gals will be here,
Bill's back. I don't know.
and Bill will be here. I
think
think
so.
maybe. Okay.
We'll find out.
Okay,
He'll
guys.
be back eventually.
Where can they talk to you this week on social media?
You can find me on everything at TK Trinidad. You can also see him on TMZ, and I'm also writing for uprocks.com.
Wow.
You can check out Xpac12360. We have a really great show. Just definitely check it out.
Yes, and I am Imogen Moxley. You can find me at Imogen Moxley on Instagram. I am the social media correspondent for Xpac12360. So add us, follow me, see what we're doing. Write in the comments, see how you felt of this episode of Total Bellas, because we want to hear your thoughts. And Megan, where they can find you?
Guys, I am at Megan Stecher on all social media platforms. It's MEGANSTECHER. You guys chat with me on there and let me know what you think of AfterBuzz Weekly, my new show that you can find on YouTube. Guys, all right. We'll chat with you next week. See you later.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.